We continue our Inspiring Indiana series with Hoosiers making a difference at work through good deeds in their daily lives.
And one of those stories comes from White Lick Elementary. That's on the west side of Indianapolis in Brownsburg. The students there are juggling more than just their schoolwork.
Come on. Yes, there it is.
Elementary students are non-stop energy, and they're sponges when it comes to learning new things. Once a week, 160 kids show up before school to learn how to juggle.
It looks really, really hard. It makes me nervous. Is it hard?
Well, at first, but you'll get the hang of it.
Welcome to White Lick Elementary's Juggling Masters program, where every kid is encouraged just to try something new.
Well, I actually started doing spinning plates, which is the first thing we did this year. It was really hard to do. I got my own and I practiced at home a lot and I finally got it.
Give me a double thumbs up if you understand what we're doing.
The kids take their lessons from one very energetic PE teacher. Meet Mr. Kelly.
Go make that switch.
He has everyone's attention all the time because he's had a lot of practice.
Awesome opportunity to showcase this talent.
He started this program 21 years ago.
It's less about skill development and it's more about character development. And we're teaching kids to persevere. And we're teaching kids how to stay committed to something. And when I see a kid accomplish a skill and I see them kind of light up for doing something for the first time, it's not that moment that gets me excited. It's knowing that they may have failed at it 100 different times, but only took 101 times, but they were willing to keep doing it. They were willing to keep going with it.
The kids start with simple juggling in third grade and it simply takes off from there. You can see their confidence growing week to week.
I love doing it, and it's a lot of fun to do all these fancy tricks and kind of show off.
I'm learning perseverance and how you can't get awesome at everything the first time you try it.
Practice makes perfect. Some of these kids even decided to try unicycles.
Hard, hard, hard!
All these students practice from November until spring when they get to perform a big show in front of family, friends, and graduates of the program.
We'll have an audience full of former students. And I will tend to get a little emotional because I will recognize those kids that are in the audience as well, and knowing that they started it. I basically gave them a chance and they took it off and run with it. So it's less about me, it's a lot more about them and what they've done and the excitement that they bring to it.
Stepping out of their comfort zone to learn something new, skills that will serve them the rest of their lives.
No matter if it's juggling or whatever it is that they do later on in life, I hope anything that they've learned that with hard work, with dedication, with commitment, it doesn't matter how many times we fail at something, all it takes is to get back up and keep going.
Congratulations to White Lick Elementary teacher Zach Kelly. He's inspiring Indiana's next generation, one juggling act at a time.
Yeah, probably needs wiped down just a little bit.
Spend a day with Dante Wilburn.
And some stuff on here.
And you may have a hard time keeping up.
Yep, there you go.
He owns a car detailing company now with locations in Lafayette and Kokomo and plans to expand.
This is it, huh?
This is, man.
And just partnered in the purchase of this massive sports complex to save it from being turned into storage units.
So we really wanted to keep the place what it was and actually make it bigger and better.
We want more Dante Wilburns.
All of it enough to earn him the honor of Indiana Entrepreneur of the Year. By all accounts, truly living out the American dream.
And life is good.
Oh, man. Sometimes I gotta pinch myself.
The thing is, it hasn't always been that way. Far from it. Which is what makes Dante Wilburn's story so remarkable. Years ago, he was making headlines of a different kind.
Yep, I was 22 years old, conspiracy to deal marijuana.
And nearly lost his life.
It was a shootout. My friend was shot 3 different times. I was facing 8 years in prison.
It was hard to see much of a future at all.
When I was in trouble, I was suicidal. I was gonna end it all because I didn't see myself coming out of the pit that I put myself in. But my mom kept telling me, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I promise you, she said, I know it hurts now, but it's gonna be okay. And thank God that I had her in my ear encouraging me. After we wash it, we bring it down here.
He got a job washing cars for minimum wage, worked his way up to manager, then saved up and started his own business that would eventually launch it all. And 18 years later,
Dante, thank you for making a difference, and thank you for joining us tonight.
To be sitting there with the governor having all of his council and city officials, state officials stand up for the story and give me a standing O, I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes even now. Like, it's, yeah.
What do you want other people to know from your story?
Never give up. Never give up. Even when it's the worst of the worst of the worst, you can come out of it. I had to basically rip out who I was and start over as a new man. But it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible. That's what my story is the possibility of becoming better.
Well, we all grew up playing in our backyards, right? Whether it was catch with our siblings or tag with our neighbors. But here at this house on the northeast side of Indy, Make-A-Wish, the Indy 11, and one local landscaper all partnered to take playing in the backyard to a whole new level. On Wednesday after school, this was the scene 15-year-old Levi Kelly walked into. His backyard full of people from Make-A-Wish and the Indy 11, all standing on his very own brand new soccer field.
Well, the goal, first of all, it's amazing. I didn't really expect it to look like this. It's almost perfect, identical when I go to play soccer at my fields. Levi was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis shortly after birth, and it's a disorder he now lives with every day. But he doesn't let it stop him. 5 years ago, Levi picked up a soccer ball for the first time, and he was hooked. At first, I was kind of keen about it. I wasn't sure, but as soon as I started playing, I just instantly fell in love with it. It was best sport. So when it came time for Levi to receive a wish, which could be almost anything in the world, he wanted to keep it close to home and requested a soccer field on his turf.
So thankful for Indy 11 and Make-A-Wish. And this is something that Levi's wanted for such a long time, and it's just something we couldn't do on our own, the mound, and it took some effort beyond what we could do, and we're so thankful. Both the boys will really appreciate this. It's so nice to have the community support kids that have special ability challenges.
With the help of Russell Creations out of Noblesville, Levi's wish was granted.
This is my first soccer field I've ever built, and it was pretty cool.
Levi did the honors of cutting the ribbon, and he got right to work, going one-on-one with Indy 11 defender Carl Ouimet. Levi hopes to eventually make the soccer team at Lawrence North, and now he has his own personal pitch to practice. A young man's ultimate wish granted.
It's really special. You could see the smile on his face. He's been kicking the ball for 15 minutes straight, so I think he's pretty happy.
It's incredibly rewarding for me personally, for my business, everything. To see this kid, see Levi as happy as he is about everything, it's really worth every penny that we put into it.
I've always wanted to play soccer in my backyard. First, the ground was not even whatsoever, and they came in and they flattened it out, and it just almost perfect. I love it. I love how it turned out.
I think it's always been yes, I can.
With her parents and her school always in her corner, Nia Simmons says growing up, she always felt ready and motivated for her future career. A Girl Scout ever since she was a kindergartner, she says for years, the Scouts have shown her new fields and possibilities.
You get to learn a lot about career paths that they might not teach you about in school, and career paths that are that don't have a lot of women, to kind of inspire you to be a woman in the field.
Now, with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson becoming the first Black woman confirmed to the nation's highest court, Simmons says she's excited.
And I think it'll be a great motivation for girls and women, especially Black lawyers, because I know there's not a lot in the United States. So I think it'll be really inspiring for a lot of women, and especially women of color.
Danielle Shockey, CEO of Girl Scouts of Central Indiana, says today is a historic first following Judge Jackson's confirmation to the Supreme Court. But
it should be every table, every boardroom, every science lab, every stage, every opportunity should have girls and women in the conversation. I think that's what's really important today, is that while we're talking about a first, hopefully at some point we can stop talking about firsts and it's just the norm.
With women still not equally represented from business leadership to the legislature, Shockey says there's a lot of work to be done, but believes the history made in the Senate today,
and this nomination is confirmed,
will inspire girls for generations to come.
And I hope they look around and they say, what can I do differently to maybe hold a seat there someday? And when they see things happen like today, again, they think, yeah, that can be me.
For Simmons, ready to graduate high school and start college pre-law. She says Judge Jackson's confirmation shows her what women can achieve.
I think it's really inspiring. I want to go into law, so I think it's really inspiring to see a woman, and especially a woman of color, in such a high honor.
Athletics have always been my thing. I was a pitcher. I don't get that rush that I used to in baseball. That was the craziest feeling in the world.
Life is full of twists and turns. Brad Betts knows life's changes can come in an instant.
All of a sudden, I just hear a big loud boom.
I was in my backyard, and I was in my shed during a storm. A tree fell, wind blew it over, but it fell through the shed, and it landed on a red Craftsman toolbox, and the toolbox kept it from pinning me to the ground. Probably would have killed me.
When I actually had him on my shoulder, I looked down at his legs, and they were just dangling, and he couldn't move them at all.
Basically, I was paralyzed instantly.
Betts took his last steps almost 13 years ago.
It hit me right away, but I've always been a positive, realistic, but also optimistic person. See if I still got it. I do believe things happen for a reason, and if it's not, if there's no reason, if you don't believe that, make a reason.
So he did.
Still got it.
Through his love of competition.
Someone had approached me and was like, you see you in the gym working out all the time, because I would go and work out and then go play basketball. And they said, have you ever thought about bodybuilding? So I jumped on the train and I was like, okay, I'll do nationals. And then 3 or 4 years of amateur bodybuilding with the NPC, and then I won my pro card in 2019.
Your winner tonight, Bradley Betts.
I'm the youngest to win a pro show, and I'm the youngest current Olympian, too.
But he'll tell you his most rewarding work comes away from the stage.
It's bigger than me, it's bigger than bodybuilding. A lot of this is also to help other people. I love letting other people know they can do anything they want, they just have to do it a little bit differently. You could live a normal life, don't let anybody hold you back.
Betts is proof anything's possible.
Things don't get easier, you just get tougher.
You just have to keep pushing.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Follow Ed Schwartzman around, and most of the time you'll find him catching up with customers.
How's lunch? Lunch is good?
Great, thank you.
Or cooking up wings inside his iconic Bloomington restaurant near the heart of the IU campus. But take a ride with him, and you'll quickly learn this music is the anthem of his heart. Not just any music, though.
My son.
As a teenager, Ben Schwartzman was already making quite a name for himself, and people were listening.
Mama, take this back from me.
He started singing cover music, then began writing and performing his own.
Big man up in the sky.
When is my time to die?
He was a very humble performer. He was not a showman at all. And he was singing from within. His music to me was open heart surgery.
Feel like knocking on heaven's door.
You could just see he's feeling the words.
But he was also feeling darkness.
He was seeing a counselor and a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist was on his way to possibly diagnosing him schizophrenic.
He would never get the chance. On October 15th, 2007, Ben's music went silent.
I remember seeing the body, and what can you do?
Ben Schwartzman died by suicide. He was just 19 years old. But Ed was determined to keep Ben's memory alive through his music. He just needed to figure out how.
So I started fishing with this music, not knowing anything about anything.
He sent the music to musicians, producers, anyone and everyone he could think of, and he never gave up.
Try to understand.
Finally, this month, 14 years later,
I hit Apple Play in my car, and my son's name shows up on my screen. And I'm listening, and I'm singing along. It's impactful. His music is now available on Spotify, and other streaming services.
Thanks to help from a producer and a local recording studio.
The reason I can listen now is I feel optimism. I feel like something positive is going to happen.
Something to make a difference in the lives of others. All proceeds are going to Centerstone, a mental health facility in Bloomington.
A lot of people would say, I'm giving it up. What kept you going?
It kept me thinking about my son. I'm the only one on the planet that could do it. Like, I was handed this assignment. I didn't ask for the assignment. I didn't want the assignment. I'm still his dad. I'm proud of him.
Musician Louis Armstrong famously said, music is life itself. Ed Schwartzman is thankful that through this music, his son will live forever.
And he left something beautiful for the world. He really did.
Thank you.
Wow.